What's going on? Live from Radio Row here in San Francisco, California, ahead of Super Bowl 60. Great to be with you guys. If you could, like the video on the way in, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership this offseason. Thanks to FanDuel for sponsoring this episode. Thanks to my longest-standing sponsor, Preston Automotive Group. Look, this week has already gotten off to a quick start. The Ravens hired Anthony Weaver earlier today, another member of Jesse Minter's staff that is intriguing, that has a familiarity, of course, with Baltimore and has an affinity for Baltimore in a lot of ways. And I think it's vice versa. That feeling goes both ways. Not only does Anthony Weaver rejoin the organization, but there's some other names along the way, including some first-time staff members, like Declan Doyle, whose hiring was officially announced earlier today by the Ravens organization. So with all of that in mind, let's dive right in. Cole Kmet is a Chicago Bears tight end who had a lot to say on one of his recent interviews, 104.3 The Score in Chicago. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the way the staff is starting to materialize and just how much the NFL world, I think, is universally recognizing Jesse Minter's hot start in terms of how he's compiling this new look Baltimore Ravens organization from a coaching perspective. So appreciate you guys for being with me. As always, the guest lines are open, and I haven't thought of a poll now that I think about it, because there's a million different things pulling me in a million different directions here on Radio Row, and that is just how life goes when you're in San Francisco ahead of the big game. So that's what's going on. I'll get to the guest lines in just a second, but I do have an opening monologue, and it is all about Mr. Declan Doyle, who at 29 becomes the youngest offensive coordinator throughout the National Football League, and he comes to Baltimore with an opportunity in front of him to take this offense to the next level. Declan, as Jesse Minter wrote in the official Ravens statement released on their social accounts, quote, "We are thrilled to welcome Declan to the Ravens flock. An architect of offense, Declan will build around our players through communication, collaboration, relationships, and trust. His innovative mindset, collaborative spirit, team-first approach, and extensive NFL experience make him an outstanding addition to the Ravens organization." That on Declan Doyle. Cole Kmet just played for him as a tight end with the Chicago Bears this past season. It was the lone year that under Ben Johnson sat Declan Doyle, who came over from Denver, where he was the tight ends coach under Sean Payton. Prior to that, he was in New Orleans as a member of the Saints, working closely with Drew Brees and Sean's staff. How about Cole Kmet? Standout tight end for Chicago. Had some success with the Bears this past season, as did the team as a whole, certainly from an offensive perspective as well. Here is Cole, courtesy of The Score in Chicago.
Well, super happy for Declan and really anybody this time of year that's able to go out and take advantage of the situation they were in the year prior. And, that's kind of happening with coaching right now, and with players that'll come up here soon with free agency and teams kind of getting their rosters set and somewhat ready to go for the upcoming season. It is kind of like a puzzle piece. And, with us being in a salary cap league, there's pieces of the puzzle that fit well into the next season and pieces of the puzzle that don't. So, I'm sure Ryan and Ben are going to be all over that this time of year, figuring that out and all those things. But, it's obviously a big loss for us, losing Declan, EB, two great coaches and guys that provided a lot of value to the offense side of the ball this year. And, I know even though Declan doesn't call the plays for us, the amount of work that he did on the offensive side of the football was immense. And you could see that in day-to-day in practices, and I'm sure it took a lot off of Ben throughout the week for his duties as a head coach.
Cole, if you could just humor us and kind of walk us through that, because I know at the beginning of the season, Ben Johnson explained how from an organizational role, that was going to be so important, Declan's role, even though, as you said, he doesn't call plays, but so that Ben Johnson could do, head coaching duties, and because he wasn't an offensive coordinator anymore, but he still remained the play caller. What was Declan Doyle's role as you got through the season? What would you say his day-to-day was like?
Yeah, well, I mean, that'd almost be hard for me to even say just because I'm not there in those meetings once we leave the building. But, you can tell with things in terms of getting the scout team correct, getting all those cards ready, dialed up, ready to go, whether it's scripting the practice. I'm sure Declan had a huge say as to what plays we're going to have up and what looks we were going to get throughout the week of practice. And then, on Fridays and Saturdays, when we'd go over our film from Fridays on Saturday morning, Declan's the guy going over that tape with the whole skill group and then kind of leading us in the walkthrough on Saturday before our main mini walkthrough as before we get to the hotel. So Declan was very hands-on with all of us, and that is a big role. And I know I understand and I somewhat understand what people on the outside and they say, oh, if you're not calling plays, like really, what are you doing? These guys do a lot of stuff in terms of prepping for the game plan and getting us ready to go for practice throughout the week that really shows up big time up on Sunday. And then, I mean, another thing Declan was great at is, I'm sure Ben, as the head coach, there's a lot of things you got to handle at halftime. Declan's the one addressing the offense at halftime, kind of going over the openers that are going to be coming up in the second half and telling us what we need to do, what they're seeing, and how we can make adjustments. So, Declan was definitely a very valuable piece to us offensively.
Some good perspective there from, again, Bears tight end Cole Kmet, who worked closely and under Declan Doyle as the non-primary play calling offensive coordinator this past season in Chicago under Ben Johnson, the first-year head coach and play caller. Quote, even though Declan didn't call the plays for us, the amount of work that he did on the offensive side of the football was immense. You could see that day to day in practices. Declan was very hands-on with all of us. Declan's the one addressing the offense at halftime, going over the openers that are going to be coming up in the second half, telling us what we need to do, what they're seeing, and how we can make adjustments. Declan was definitely a very valuable piece to us offensively. I thought that was some good nuance there, some good perspective on what it was that he did other than just everything besides play calling, which is some of what you've heard, right, related to, okay, well, what did Declan do? Oh, well, everything besides call the plays. Well, what can we get a little bit more than that? Like, that's one thing that he did. That's high-level processing that's required. That's a level of confidence to get in front of the team at halftime, no matter what happened the previous two quarters, and be able to make in-game adjustments, address the team matter-of-factly, communicate properly and clearly. I mean, I like the nuance that Cole provided there in terms of what Baltimore's getting in a guy who's going to turn 30 coming up next month. 30. And you're going to hear a lot about that in the coming months, that this is risky, that Jesse, as a first-year hire at the head coaching position with another first-year play caller, is risky. Of course it's risky. But with the staff that he's putting together, I think that risk will be managed. That risk will be calculated, knowing that you have some veterans that can help given the wear and tear, given the scars, given the experience in Dwayne Ledford from an offensive line perspective on the other side of the ball. What about Anthony Weaver? We're going to get to that in just a second. So I think so far what you're seeing is a blend of, youthful exuberance and some up-and-coming youthful experience, also coupled with some guys that have done their time, some guys that have seen a lot throughout this league and can weather storms and can help inevitably when the going gets tough, can help with the overall operation, especially from an Anthony Weaver perspective. I think that's what should be talked about more, is that Anthony's going to be able to help weather storms for Jesse when inevitably shit comes up and falls on his plate that he didn't see coming at all. Because as most head coaches will tell you time and time again, whether they were ex-head coaches, current head coaches, or whatever, you can never truly be prepared for the first time. He's got storm weathers with him. That's what he's doing. Anthony Weaver, back in 2022, when he rejoined the organization and was promoted to associate head coach under John Harbaugh at the time, had this to say, which I think just perfectly articulates his affinity for the Ravens organization.
Jameson, it's surreal to be back, essentially my first NFL home, and to now just to have that title means an awful lot to me, and I don't take the responsibility in it lightly. So whatever I can do to help this team in any aspect that I can, I'm going to do, because I think the city deserves it. I think Coach Harbaugh, Eric and Ozzie, Steve Bisciotti, all of them. Like, I've been to a multitude of places now, and there's a bunch of them. There's very few of them that do it right, and this is one of them, and they deserve a championship.
Can you tell that the organization that he's rejoining means something to this guy? As we learned earlier today, Adam Schefter reporting that Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver is on his way to Baltimore. He was an assistant in a number of different roles from 21 to 23. And important to differentiate and note that there was no overlap between Anthony and Jesse. There was no overlap between Jesse and Declan. And I think what those two moves tell you, without actually maybe coming out and telling you in English, is that guys want to be involved with the Ravens organization right now based on what Jesse's building. And Anthony's one of those. And just in case you need a little bit of extra, you know what, to get fired up about what's coming back to Baltimore, the kind of fire that's returning to Baltimore and Anthony Weaver, need I say any more than this?
School. I may sit up here, I'm a nice guy, I smile, I do all those things, but all of our problems that we need to solve can be solved through violence. Yeah, they want to legislate it out of the game, but we play defensive football. And in defensive football, at some point, you draw a line in the sand and you say, I'm going to set the edge. I'm going to stick my helmet under this guy's chin, and I'm going to set the edge. I'm going to violently take the ball away. And that's what we need to do. With a steely-eyed focus, with resolve, with resiliency, and we're going to stop people. And I'm determined, we're all determined for that to happen.
Just got a great super chat that we'll cut to in just a second. Clearly, my table mate is very excited about the prospect of getting out into the wild here in San Francisco so we can meet more beautiful Asian women. But until then, we have more content to handle. Jake Asman from 5 feet away says, please end this stream so we can go party in SF. Well, there's not going to be much partying going on if the people that are congregating behind us don't give us a little bit more space. How about that? Sure would be nice if we could maybe have a little bit more space to us. But yes, I am live here from Radio Row, Super Bowl 60. It's my third Radio Row experience. Thanks to Jake for getting the super chat runs started. John Norman has become a channel member, so welcome to Trosseteer status, John. Thanks for being here, my man. And look, guys, I think it's obvious. Guys want to be involved with this organization. Guys want to have a chance to take Lamar in this organization where it hasn't yet gone. And certainly, Anthony from afar has been watching Lamar's career unfold in Baltimore. And he had this to say a couple of years ago when the Dolphins and Ravens matched up with one another.
You've had some unique views of Lamar Jackson. You played against him his first MVP season. You were on staff with him. I'm curious, how has he grown as a passer, but then also with the addition of Derrick Henry, just how has that improved him as a runner?
Yeah, he's such a special talent, right? And I think his skill set now paired with what Todd Monken has brought from just a schematic standpoint, it's the perfect mesh, right? Because it allows him to utilize all his strengths. He can have a little bit more control of the huddle, kind of check in and out of some concepts, and then obviously like he can pull the ball down and run at any particular point, whether it's designed or not. So I think the partnership and marriage between him and Monk has been successful, and you've seen the results of all that.
It was successful. It also perhaps had run its course. Todd goes to Cleveland. Lamar, pending an extension, is in Baltimore for the foreseeable future. maybe even if an extension doesn't get done, he'll be in Baltimore for the foreseeable future, knowing that Steve Bisciotti said, hey, we're going to kick that cash down the road and use void years if for some reason he in the front office doesn't agree to an extension in the coming weeks and coming months ahead. But look, Anthony being back in the organization, one, surprises me, knowing that he was not only a potential finalist in Baltimore for the head coaching vacancy, but he had other opportunities, including the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he was relatively far along in the process at said opportunities. And yet he ends up settling in a lot of ways. And maybe they'll have an associate head coach title slapped on his role. And maybe that's good enough for him. And maybe he's playing the long game and understands just how difficult of a business this is. And you get back with a winning organization, and this time next year, this time in 2 years, you got a chance to be yet again at the forefront of the conversation in future hiring cycles. But it does surprise me. He will go from the primary defensive play caller in Miami to the non-primary play calling defensive coordinator under a first-year head coach in Jesse Minter in Baltimore. I think there's a level of humility. There's a level of discipline that comes with that. There's a level of forward thinking and understanding with how the business works. And I credit Anthony. I do. I commend him, and I wish him well. I think it's a great fit. It's an easy fit. It's a familiar fit. And it's one that I think makes the Ravens more fundamentally sound, more old school, and from a structural standpoint, intact. And those things are important. Hard to measure, but those things are important. And so you have 4 more confirmed in the meantime, 4 more confirmed coaches that'll be under Jesse Minter on his staff, including Dwayne Ledford, who will be the offensive line coach and run game coordinator, just as he was with the Atlanta Falcons. Mike Mickens is the pass game coordinator. Pass game coordinator and secondary coach, because he replaces Donald DeLessio in that category, who left for the New York Giants to join John Harbaugh. Tyler Santucci will again be the inside linebackers coach. That was one of the blocks. They blocked requests that came in from New York. They want to keep him around. Young, bright mind. Brought him in from Georgia Tech a year ago. And look, I think Teddy Buchanan had, prior to tearing his ACL, had a solid, really solid rookie season. I thought Trenton Simpson came on in different ways, not just as that specialist, that hybrid third down guy, but somebody that could play and play effectively and play within the confines and the constraints of Zach Orr's defense, which obviously will be changed significantly as Jesse implements his philosophies and his concepts and the principles that come along with. I'm sure there'll be some wrinkles that are pretty damn similar and familiar when it comes to what Mike McDonald does in Seattle and what he did in 2023 in Baltimore. And then, of course, Charlie Gelman will replace Daniel Stern from a game management role perspective on game day, which is important, extremely important. It's one of the main reasons, that shortcoming, one of the main reasons that John Harbaugh was ultimately fired. So this was from earlier, the Ravens team account posting and making it official that these 4 coaches will work underneath Jesse Minter. Brian is wondering, is Minter secretly building a dynasty? Becomes the question. It's one that, as this staff forms, you get the sense that this league is, what Baltimore is doing is getting the attention of the league, getting attention of folks around the NFL. Because again, I think you have a blend of experience, but that youthful exuberance that comes with a hunger. And when you combine all that, I'm sure it's going to take time. I'm sure there's going to be a growing pain process and a learning curve attached to particularly the guy who's running the entire show here in Jesse Minter, not to mention a first-year play caller at 29 years old, soon to be 30. But again, the upside, the potential, the hunger, the resume. gonna be fun to watch this. It's gonna be fun to watch this play out. This fucking guy, man. Let me tell you, across the way, we've just got not only a super chat, but we've gotten a guest call in. And again, there's only feet that separate us, but he wants to show off his Radio Row experience. And here is the Jake Asman Show live from San Francisco.
We're here. You're using my table right now. I mean, things are happening, Bobby. I mean, I'm just waiting for the show to end so we can go back to the hotel, get settled, go get some good dinner. I'm looking at restaurants right now for us. I mean, another Super Bowl is happening, baby.
I'm hearing you double. And
was there a big echo? Oh, actually, because you could hear me because I'm so close to the table. So let me try and whisper.
What a treat.
Actually, hold on. Let me see if I could use my new toy here. Watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Trosset is here at Super Bowl Radio Row.
Yeah, that's nifty. What the hell is that?
Well, let me give you a little.
Now I sound like I'm 4 years old. I'm so glad to be at the Super Bowl with Bobby Baltimore.
Hey, look behind you. There's some talent walking behind you. Let's have a look.
It's the Super Bowl. Everyone's here.
This is my running mate, folks.
Let me give you my monster voice. Stand by.
Here we go.
Monster voice. Why isn't it working?
There it is. Now I'm a monster, Bobby. I am a monster.
This goddamn guy.
People are like, why is he pretending to be a monster? Hold on, we're live on the air. We got the great Jason Minutes right here.
Now look at him. Look at him. He's shaking hands.
You guys can't tell, but my voice is overmodulated like a monster.
Let's let him.
Right now it's back.
Let's let this guy. Let's let this guy go, shall we? He's shaking hands, kissing babies, you name it. We just kicked his ass off the show. We kicked your ass off the show. Oh man, goodness gracious! You want to come on the program?
Well, I want to ask you. Are you on?
Yeah, we're live right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what the hell? It's Monday. It's Monday. Oh goodness, guys. Trey, are you ready to roll, brother? Turn on that camera. The guest lines are open. Let's open them up. Appreciate you guys for being with me tonight. It's only 4:30 here, Pacific Standard Time, as we kick things off from Radio Row in San Francisco, California, ahead of Super Bowl 60. I want to say thanks to FanDuel for the continued support of the program. Super Bowl 60 MVP odds, Sam Darnold in the pole position, according to FanDuel. Of course, he's going to try to do the unthinkable, the improbable in a lot of ways. We should talk to Jake about Sam Darnold. I'm sure he has a few things to say, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Sam Darnold plus 110 MVP odds. Drake May plus 230. Jackson Smith-Njigba plus 600. Kenneth Walker III plus 850. Ramondre Stevenson long shot plus 3,000. Stephon Diggs plus 4,500. Another long shot. And of course, Seattle, the 4.5 point favorite. Mike McDonald and company in year 2 since he got his head coach chance. What a game. I will be in the comfort of my living room by kickoff. I always am. Got it down to a science. That's what's coming up on Sunday. Holly wants to know who the first big name person I saw entering Radio Row. You know what's funny, Holly, is, to be quite honest with you, it took me so long to get over here that this is kind of the calm after the storm here. Everybody's doing various things and not here at the moment. Kay Adams is behind me. She's over there somewhere. So maybe we can get her on the program later on. But, yeah, Kay is here. And then who's the guy from Pardon the Interruption or Around the Horn? Israel, is his name Israel Gutierrez? Is that his name? I think I saw him on the way in. But yeah, it's quiet. I mean, I couldn't even get over here. I literally finished the vault and was unpacking all my stuff. And then what do you know? The Weaver news drops. And so I go back up to my room, away from the conference room, which did not work, as you guys may have seen me. I was a little bit fuzzy during the afternoon show. And then Sarah and I were live less than an hour later. So it's kind of been all over the place. Trey, you ready to roll? Let's open up the guest lines. Get your thoughts on the happenings around the Ravens, including Anthony Weaver being named defensive coordinator. That was the report out there earlier. And Trey from Columbus bundled up. I can only imagine. Sarah said it was like 25 degrees there earlier, so I get it. Welcome to the program, brother. Good to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you as well, Bobby. How's it out there?
It's good. It's a beautiful day. I feel like I haven't not spent any of it outside. It's dusk right now. So I would like to get out there at some point. Jake, who the hell knows? He's got all kinds of plans tonight. I got that Asian from last night texting me. This is going to be an interesting night. I don't know what's ahead of us. We'll see.
Hey, that's good, man. I mean, hey. But
you will hear about it. Yes, we'll get every detail, every last detail from this week, whatever we get ourselves into.
Yeah, you got to give us the spill all the beans, man.
No.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited about the Anthony Weaver hire. I'm really interested in seeing how this is going to transpire going for defense. Seeing how they're going to go into the free agency and the draft now, since everything's kind of tilting towards that way. I'm really interested in seeing how, now that Weaver's hired, is he going to get that assistant head coaching role type of thing, coming back and doing the same thing? Has that already been confirmed, or is that something that's up there?
It hasn't. It would make a lot of sense if he does have associate head coach attached. But I don't think there's anything confirmed on that. And life in the NFL, man, it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And I can only see it being like a one and done type of thing. But I feel like, is it just me, or do you think that as you watch Bobby having a day, is it me, or do you think you're just watching Mentor kind of playing his role of hiring people that are potential people that can take over the next role? Like if we lose a person like Anthony Weaver, or we lose a Declan, you have another guy that's going to come in and he'll just take over that OC role or that DC role.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyler Santucci certainly would qualify as such. Here are some of the moves, that you're kind of alluding to with the way the staff is being put together. Weaver obviously is someone that I suspect in the hiring cycles ahead in the coming years will continue to be a name that, especially if the Ravens defense bounces back this coming season, like if they can get a pass rush formed and you continue to get good inside linebacker play, and the secondary, which probably will look different, I would think. If they take steps forward and they don't come out of the gate for the first time in 2 years struggling, then he's going to get looks.
Yeah.
And he should get looks. So obviously he's a name that's attractive. And the fact that he was not only being interviewed seriously as a candidate in Baltimore, but also, Pittsburgh and elsewhere, I think just shows you that, to retain somebody like him, even though he's been out of the building for the last couple of years, I find that telling. Mike Mickens, how does he translate to the NFL? We'll see.
Hey, I was bringing to tell you about Mike Mickens. A little quick story about that. He went to my high school rival, and we actually, I forgot that we were that close. We have a lot of mutual friends, and the guy that I used to, he was a quarterback for West Virginia. He told me about Mike. He's like, you guys got Mike. I was like, why did you say it like we know him? He's like, you do know him. We all hung out with him and everything. I was like, oh. So yeah, it's kind of funny because Marcus Freeman is good friends with all the people. So it's funny how all this kind of stuff kind of gets brought up right when we hear about Mike Mickens. But
he's a name, man. He's a name. Notre Dame secondary's no joke. I think the league understands that, which is why so many of them get sent to play on Sundays.
He wants a defensive coordinator position down here.
I'm sure he does. Look, he worked with Sauce in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. Xavier Watts is probably the most recent. I think they got who the hell came out for them last year? And then they got somebody that's going to be a high draft pick this year. So Watts is out already. He's been in there. But you got some other names that you could directly tie that to his tutelage, his technique, his expertise. And look, I think that's one of the best secondaries in the entire league. So, at the college ranks. So, but how does that translate? Look, some of this is when you get through the honeymoon phase and you cut, through some of the fog, and it's good fog. There's an optimistic fog. There's an exciting fog. There's a rejuvenating fog. I get all that. But at the end of the day, personnel will matter, and that's why free agency be extremely telling to see how Eric DeCosta's front office handles it. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do in the draft. They're going to keep all 11 picks.
Yeah.
You're going to let the best player available, as you always do, fall in your lap at 14. Are they back in the wide receiver market? There's a lot to look forward to, and the elephant in the room, you got to get something done with Lamar. It's great to see you, brother.
Great seeing you as well, Bobby.
Stay warm, will you?
I'll try. It's cold.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks to everybody for being with me tonight as well. Over 900 concurrents and counting between both platforms. If you could like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Consider becoming a channel member or a gift-giving membership this offseason. We'll get to more super chats as they come in. We're talking about Declan Doyle. We're talking about Anthony Weaver returning to Baltimore for a third stint, once as a player back earlier in his career, once as an assistant for several years. And that earned him an opportunity to become a defensive play caller in Miami, where he's been the last couple of years. And now he will be a non-primary play calling defensive coordinator for Jesse Minter in Baltimore, as we learned earlier this afternoon. Look who I have in the waiting room. I think you guys are in for a treat here. She's become a fan favorite, I think, in recent weeks, for sure. And no shortage of generosity, too, which is appreciated. First of all, I'm here in San Francisco, as you guys can probably tell. It's the calm after the storm, really on day one of Radio Row. There's a lot of shows and being built. Like the McAfee show is in the distance, and I can see that they're like building that. I don't think he's live here until later in the week. You've got Sirius XM off to my right, CBS in the distance, and a ton of local outlets everywhere. So things are really going to start to get off and running. I've had conversations with Kyle Hamilton's publicist. I've had conversations with Rod Woodson's people. And the hope is that, we can get as many guests and names and faces in and out of the guest line throughout the week. So that's the goal. And we'll see how much we can accomplish over the next few days, including at the whatever Chinese restaurant I get my ass dragged to tonight. But can somebody please tell Jake that we cannot do Chinese? My gastro does not agree with Chinese food. I don't care if I'm in Maryland, Florida, or San Francisco. But I get the sense he wants to go to Chinatown and let it rip. And so I think you guys all need to let him know that ain't going to work. So, yeah, that's my thought on that. And here he comes. Yes, there are no shortage of recommendations in the Chinese department. I get that. And needless to say, for those of you that are watching live right now, if you could please give us a recommendation for dinner tonight that is a non-Chinese reference, I'd appreciate that. Okay? Thank you very much. To Stephanie we go. Screw a 90-second clock. What the hell? Waiting room is very quiet tonight. I don't know why. Maybe because it's 7:38 Eastern Standard Time. And the day's just getting going over here. The night is young. Stephanie, it's great to meet you virtually. How are you?
I'm great. I just got back from working 12-hour shift at rehab hospital. I've been a nurse for 40 years. So, and amongst my other job duties, that's one close to my heart.
You are a grinder. You are definitely a grinder.
Well, you have to be. You have to be.
You are.
I'm so excited for this team. I'm looking forward to the differences that each of these coaches make and their expertise that they bring to each part of the game. I'm anxious to see the little changes and how they're going to impact the players and specifically our defense, which was horrendous last year. And hopefully we can get on the same page, or if not that, better. But it's a very young staff, very young, except for Weaver's very experienced. And when I heard that today, I was extremely excited to hear that news because, like you said, he could have really gone anywhere, and he chose the Ravens. And I don't know if he saw it as a step down, but I'm anxious to know more about his hire and what his responsibilities are really going to be. But I think we all have reason to be excited and to be encouraged. And I'm looking for wonderful things to happen. And like you said too, I mean, there's going to be growing pains. So, I'm sure it's not going to come, right out of the gate. There's going to be trials, I'm sure, along the way, but it's a whole new, oh my gosh, it's a whole 100-degree difference between what we have now and what we had before. So I'm anxious to see what this group is going to put together.
You know what? I think there's a lot of interesting points there as it relates to the trials and tribulations that inevitably will come.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, as I tried to do on our instant reaction earlier today, the idea of getting ahead of the skis or perhaps overly inflating, as a lot of us did, the roster in 2024, even though there were significant hits that they took that nobody saw coming, like losing
For
Nabi
sure.
for the year, having Lamar out for a month. You name it. There's a bunch of not using Keaton Mitchell for the first month of the season. But even with all of that, and there'll be a time for that, and maybe it's even too premature to go down that route because it is the honeymoon phase right now. But
For sure.
knowing that time will come is one thing. But I think what trumps all of that right now is the idea that when you look around the league, Baltimore's getting the attention of.
They most definitely are.
They're earning the attention. People are on notice, and Jesse's building something that brick by brick, I think, gives cause for excitement, cause for optimism, and I think what's maybe most exciting is that it feels different, right? Like, this isn't a boys'
It
club.
for sure feels different. And I have to tell you, I ordered my little grandson 3 little Ravens onesies. They are so cute. Oh my gosh. I can't wait till my daughter has this baby.
I love it.
He's going to
What's the
be
due
so
date?
dressed. His name is going to be Alexander Jameson.
Alexander Jameson. And the due date is what?
Her due date is Valentine's Day. And oddly enough, Burles, my husband's father, passed away on Valentine's Day. So you can see the footprints of everything. Our last dinner out together, my husband and I, was on Valentine's Day.
And I think right now, your
and
late
this
husband
baby is due
fired
on
up.
Valentine's Day.
I was going to say, you got a lot going on there in terms of signs. And then, speaking of signs, I'm sure your husband right now is fired up about.
Oh my
your
gosh.
late husband is jacked up about where his team is heading.
I'm
The new
sure.
direction, the new era of Ravens football. I know his spirit is jacked up about it. So,
Well, I appreciate the time. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what the changes bring. The talent is there. They just have to perform to their capability.
I appreciate you for stopping by. Thanks so much. It's good to
All
meet you
right.
and see you.
Yeah, you take care.
All right. Likewise.
See ya.
Kisses for the whole live chat. Over 1,000 and counting here on a Monday night. A Monday late afternoon, shall I say, Pacific Standard Time. Enjoying things on the first official day of Radio Row here in San Francisco, California. Super Bowl 60. Jake wants to hit happy hour. He's got his backpack on right now. He's ready to let it rip. Any recommendations? 7 Adams? 7 Adams, I'm hearing, is a potential recommendation. Okay. Yeah, the live chat does appreciate Stephanie, and I do as well. I very much appreciate her as well. It's great part of our community. I feel that way about a lot of you guys. Tell you what, I'm going to go enjoy San Fran. And we're going to be back. We're going to be back quickly, in a hurry. The Vault is live at 12 noon. God, that looked like Chuck Pagano in the distance right there. I swear to God, that looked like Chuck. Chuck Pagano's doppelganger is walking through the convention center here at the Moscone, downtown San Fran. So I'm going to go enjoy. Hey, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to come with you. Yeah. We're going to go out to San Fran and enjoy ourselves here before the week really gets away from us. And I will be back. It's going to be a quick turnaround here local time. Sarah and I are live 9 Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, as always, tomorrow. And we're going to try to really wrangle as many guests as possible this week. All right? We're going to go find some dinner. We're going to go figure out where the best cocktail is, see what our hotel's doing, and you name it. Guys, follow along for behind-the-scenes content and happenings, and who knows, Bobby After Dark content. You never know. You can connect with me on Instagram this week at Bobby Baltimore. Same thing on X or Twitter at Bobby Baltimore. You guys know the drill by now. If you want to donate to the program outside of the Super Chat feature, you can do so. There are the Venmo and Cash App handles right there. Nothing is ever expected. Anything and everything. Always beyond appreciated. No doubt about it. So thanks to all of you. All right. More to come tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. Have an awesome rest of your night. And stay tuned. We got a lot more planned coming up for you. Appreciate FanDuel. Appreciate Preston Automotive. And thanks to all of you for dropping by, including those of you who called in, those of you who dropped in Super Chats, those of you who tuned in. If you could, on the way out, like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Would mean a lot as we kickstart the week and get everything going. What should be a very, very busy and productive week. And always an honor to be involved with Super Bowl coverage. This is my third Radio Row experience, and I look forward to everything that we've got coming down the pike. So I'll catch up with you guys soon. Appreciate you.